Hey guys, Kevin here from riseforums.com and kevinmuldoon.com. In this video, what I'm going to be doing is talking about a service called CleanTalk. This is an anti-spam solution that can be used on forums, blogs, and pretty much any type of website. There's about a dozen or so different plugins available for different platforms, but you can also install the service using PHP, Ruby, all these different programming languages. The example I'm going to be using is with my blog, kevinmuldoon.com, so I will be showing you how it works using a WordPress plugin. Before I talk about CleanTalk, I just want to quickly talk about the problem that I've been having on my blog. This is my blog here, and I've unfortunately been getting a lot of spam comments recently. I've been getting a lot of spam comments that are coming through the filters, and it's becoming a real big pain. I'll quickly show you how bad it is. Now you can see here, this is the comment area of my blog. You know, we're in the WordPress admin area here. And you can see I've got about 4,400 approved comments. And at the moment, there's about 1,500 spam comments. I've actually had that worse before. You know, I've got a website that has got tens of thousands of spam comments. But for my main website, this was a bit of a concern because there was about 10 or so spam comments getting through the filter every day. So I was getting about, you know, I've got it set up so that I get an email every time that there is a comment on my website, an approved comment. And I was getting about 10 of these a day, and about 9 of those were spam comments, sometimes 10, unfortunately. Now, if you look here, one of the key things here is to look at is the date. You can see here it's 10:02 a.m., 9:32, 9:30, 9:20, 9:08, 9:01, 8:59, 8:54, 8:51, 8:47 a.m. You know, it's roughly around a spam comment every 5 minutes. So you're talking, you know, just under 300 spam comments per day. Now, it sounds like a lot, but the key number to really look at in this in those numbers is the number of comments that get through the spam folder. I'm really worried about the ones that don't go to the spam folder. And as I said, I was getting about 10 per day. Now, as you know, Akismet, you know, the default WordPress plugin that's provided by Automatic, is a fantastic anti-spam solution. And it's for me, it's one of the most essential WordPress plugins that you can have. If you look at Akismet on my blog, you can see the volume of spam that's getting blocked by Akismet. Now, I would say that Akismet should be installed on every WordPress website if anything is enabled, such as comments, user registration, contact forms, anything that allows someone else to submit an entry into your website. You really need Akismet installed, and you'll see a huge number of spam, comments getting through if you don't have Akismet installed. But the problem with Akismet is it isn't foolproof. You should really use Akismet in conjunction with one or two other anti-spam solutions. And as I said, the one I'm going to be using is CleanTalk. And this is the entry for it on WordPress.org. As I said, this is something, this is a solution that I could install on Rise forums. I can install it on my discussion forums. There is a plugin for XN4, but I'm going to be using the WordPress plugin. Just kind of off topic for a second, but one thing I noticed is, see the majority of these 1-star reviews here. Now, CleanTalk's got a fantastic, out of thousands, or, what's that, about 1,300 or so. It's got 4.9 out of 5 stars. So that's, it's got a great rating from WordPress users. But I noticed that most of these 1-star reviews, most of them are actually pointing to the fact that this isn't free. Not a free plugin, not impressed. Not sure why this is in the plugin directory. Not free. And I think I guess it's quite a valid point because, most plugins in the WordPress.org directory are free. Now, this is something I'm going to talk about in my blog later this week, but don't be put off by that. CleanTalk is not free, but it is incredibly cheap. And I'll just quickly, before I talk about the service, I just want to quickly talk about the pricing because that's something I need to stress. I think a lot of people installed this via their WordPress admin area or via WordPress.org, and they thought it was 100% free, but it's not. You only get CleanTalk free for 14 days, I believe, and then you need to pay. But if you look at the prices here, these prices are on a yearly basis. And for my blog, for all year, it's going to cost me $8. So it works out 67 cents per month. Now, that if that resolves my spam problem, that is going to save me a huge amount of time. And without being too cliche, time is money. You know, if I'm spending time managing comments and making comments spam and things like that, it doesn't seem like a lot, a couple of, 5, 10, 15 minutes per day, but it adds up, and over time, it's a complete waste of my time. It's losing me money. So this plugin is not free. You need to pay for this service, but don't let that put you off, because really the plugin is just being used to connect you to the anti-spam service. So you can see what Akismet was blocking there. But once CleanTalk is installed, once I've activated this plugin here, then you will see CleanTalk on your website. So you notice here, so when I'm on my main dashboard, and you can see here, this part here, CleanTalk has blocked 557 spam. So at this point, when I'm recording this video, it's been activated on my website since Wednesday. So this is the 5th day that CleanTalk has been on my website, and it's blocked 557 spam. There's an option down here, comments, and this option here, check for spam. This was added by CleanTalk. So if I click on that just now, so this is going to load up a page that basically does exactly what it says it does. It checks for spam. Now, it's always checking for spam anyway, but this page here allows you to check for spam again, and then you can see if there's any additional spam comments being left. So it's found it's found 3 spam comments. It's finding a lot of spam comments here. Now, you can see here it's saying it's checking the blacklist database. I'll just quickly jump back to the CleanTalk website, and if I go to the blacklist page, basically how this service works is when someone submits, a comment or completes your contact form or, your registration form for your website, their data is sent to the CleanTalk cloud, and they have a database of about 2 million IP addresses and email addresses and domain names and, everything associated with spammers. And what happens is if that user has, their IP address listed on CleanTalk's blacklist, then the comment will be sent, or the forum or whatever the submission is, it will be sent directly to spam, and it won't be accepted. Now you can see here, that's for the email submission histories, IP submission history. They've got a system here as well. It's explained down the bottom of this page. So they use a lot of other services as well to build up their IP database. But if you delete a comment and it's marked as spam, then the user is marked as 1 point. And if a user has comments across lots of different websites, then once it reaches 3 points, then it's automatically entered into the blacklist. So that person's IP address, their email address, and their associated domain name would be added to the blacklist. The thing that really makes this stand out is the fact that CleanTalk is pulling all this data from a huge number of websites. So they can afford to, they can build up this database of information about spammers. You can see here, 128,000 websites. So essentially what they have is data from 128,000 different websites about spammers. So when someone else marks someone as a spammer, it means that, when it gets to your website, when that person gets to your website, CleanTalk already knows that it is a spammer. So if I jump back to my website, you can see it's got here about, it's found spam comments. But that's not what I want to talk about. What I want to quickly show you is the settings for CleanTalk. Now, the plugin itself, there's really not much to it. CleanTalk is basically what I would say is the right way to handle spam. It kind of works in the background. It's invisible. You're not going to ask users to complete a maths problem. You're not going to ask them to match pictures or complete a captcha form. Those solutions do work. Now, I'm not going to take away from those anti-spam solutions because they do work and they are very effective. The biggest problem with those kind of anti-spam plugins is that when you place an obstacle in front of a user to complete a forum or match images or do anything to prove that they're not a spammer, it greatly reduces the number of submissions that are submitted to your website, be it your contact form or comments. And that is a big problem because you don't want to reduce the activity on your website. To take this to an extreme example, I remember years ago when I was running bloggingtips.com, I decided, spam was such a problem, so I decided to simply make comments available to those who registered as a user. It got to the point where I had to just only allow comments from people who registered on my website. And I saw comments, decrease from about 20 per day to about 2 per day. The fact is, if you start making it more difficult to leave a comment or to complete a forum, many people will just not spend the time doing it. Time is money. People are busy and they're not going to do that. So that is one of the biggest selling points about CleanTalk, is that it works in the background. It really doesn't need you to do anything. The settings that I'm going to show you just now, these are the default settings. I haven't changed anything. You can see here at the top here, there's the spam firewall. So this allows you to filter the spam bots before they access your website, and it can reduce CPU usage on your hosting server. Then there's an option here to add a credit link under your comment form. So that will just display a little link, say powered by CleanTalk, etc., underneath your comment form. As you can see, it's disabled by default. Now, when you click on advanced settings, I've just kept the default settings because I was quite happy with them, but there's a lot of different options here. You can automatically delete spam comments. I think that's very risky to do because occasionally you do get a legitimate comment that is, marked as spam. So that's something I'm always reluctant to do. You can enable it for registration forms, comment forums, contact forums, custom contact forums. And there's other options here. Check all post data, show statistics in the admin bar. And you can see up here, see that's 2 allowed entries and 224 blocked entries. And there's other things here as well. Protect external forms, set cookies, etc. and collect details about browsers. Now, that is all there really is for the plugin. Essentially, this plugin, again, it just works in the background. You're not going to have to check anything or change anything. I mean, I'm showing you those advanced settings, but essentially, I think 99% of users will be happy with the settings that are set up by default. I certainly am. So what I'll do is quickly take you to the dashboard. Now, before I do that, just show you how easy it is to create an account with CleanTalk. All you do is you enter your email address, you enter the website address that you want to protect, and then you click on create an account. What they will do then is CleanTalk will send you an email with your password. It will link to your dashboard area, and it will link to the installation page that shows you how you can install CleanTalk on your website. It's very easy to use. So I've already went through all that. So what I'm going to do is just jump to the dashboard area, and you can see here, I've got my website here, and there's a list of approved spam and spam firewall entries. So these are all the entries that came to my website and what's been approved, what's been marked as spam, and what's been blocked by a firewall. And you can see a kind of the stats there from since I've started using it. The access key which you need is blocked, but you need to enter that into your WordPress plugin when you use it. Now, from here I can show you the log. So this shows you all the log of all the spammers that have been blocked. These are the bad guys. And you can filter all this information using date, using whether it's approved or denied, the status, by website, by country, or by IP address, email address, nickname, etc. There's also an option, if you go up here, there's an option to add different IP addresses and email addresses as a blacklist or a whitelist. So if you want to block a certain range of IP addresses or email addresses or website addresses, you add it to your blacklist. If you want to allow them, you add them to your whitelist. There's an option here to add a country as well, so you can block a whole country. If you find that 99% of your comments are coming from one particular country, it might be easier just to block that country in question. And there's options here to set your records. Under analytics, you'll see here there's two different options. You've got spam, firewall, analytics, and you can see here the spam that's been blocked and the legitimate entries that have been allowed, and 0 so far. But the anti-spam analytics, if it's going to come up, anti-spam, what I'll do is I'll click on that page again, bring it up. Right, there we go. So this is showing you the spam that's been blocked and the legitimate entries that have been come through. Again, I've only been using this for 5 days, so you know I've only got data for 5 days. And just talk about this here. There's a few options here to actually get more service free of charge. If you pay before those 14 days are up, you know, so as I said, when you sign up, you get 14 days. And then you need to opt for one of these plans. But if you sign up before that, you get an extra couple of months. You get an extra 3 months. And if you do a review on your website and then send them a link to your review, you can get up to a year worth of service free of charge. So it's quite good. And finally, the support here, and there's lots of manuals. You can see a list of all these different platforms that you can use. There's Drupal, Envision Powerboard, Joomla, Magento, MediaWiki, PHP, BB, Simple Machines Forum, vBulletin, WordPress multi-user, Zenforo, PHP, Python, .NET, Ruby, etc. There's a lot of information about how you can use the service and how you can install it. I think most of the documentation there is about how you can install it on your website. There's also a discussion forum about, doesn't seem too active, but that's understandable because I imagine most people are using the support ticket, and the support ticket I believe is 24 hours a day. Yep, 24/7. So that really is all there is to using CleanTalk. It's not a complex service. You kind of just sign up and then just let it do its thing, and that really is for me what I'm looking for. Now again, I'll just jump back to the pricing just now. And you can see here, it's one website is $8 per year, unlimited spam checks. 3 websites, $16 per year. So when you go up to, like, from here, it's about 67 cents per month per website. And when you go up to this, 40 websites, if you've got a big agency, then you're talking it's like 30 cents or 33 cents per website. So it's kind of half the price per website. There's another option here. If you've got a lot of websites, but the traffic across them is quite low, then you might prefer this one. You can get 3,000 daily approved checks, which, is whether it checks, it's a definition down here. Approved checks are not spam registrations, comments, contacts allowed by CleanTalk. The number of spam checks is not limited for all packages. So it's really only this package here that's limited, and it's $15 per month. But if you have a lot of websites and you're not doing many checks, then, this could be the best option for you. For everyone else, I think the unlimited spam checks plans are the best, and again, $8 per year. It's very, very affordable, and it is it's at the top of the page. There's a 60-day money back guarantee as well, so if you're unhappy with the service, you can get your money back. But for me, it's difficult to say with conviction. I've only been using this service for 5 days, and I think with any spam solution, you really need to look at this across the board and look at how good it works, across a year or 6 months or something like that. But I must admit, over 5 days, I've been really, really happy with it, because all of those emails, all of those comments that were slipping through Akismet and slipping through the net, they have now been stopped and they're getting sent to the spam folder. So I'm not getting all these emails sent to me every day saying, an approved comment, and it's a spam comment. So I'm saving like at least 5 to 10 minutes a day checking on these things and checking these emails every day. So I'm very happy with it. I'm going to opt for a year. In fact, see, I'm still using the 14-day trial, but I think, in fact, when I think about it, I'll maybe just get this option because I've got about 6 different websites. So I'll probably opt for that. Now, I'm not saying you should definitely, this isn't like a go-to default anti-spam solution. There's a lot, spam seems to work in a lot of different ways. I've found that certain anti-spam solutions work on certain websites that I own, but they don't work on other websites I own. It's kind of strange. So I've used different anti-spam solutions across different websites that I own. But I must admit, I'm really, really happy with this, and I would recommend giving it a try. You can get 14 days free of charge, and the problem that I was having with spam slipping through seems to be working. So what I'm going to do is try it out with a few of my other websites and see if I get the same effect. And then if I do, then I'm going to, I'm going to pay for the year. And I've been really happy with it so far, though. It's a really good service, and I'm curious as to how it works with discussion forums as well. So that's something I'm going to have to look at. So if you're having a problem on your discussion forum or with your blog, I do recommend checking out CleanTalk. I've specifically looked at the problem that I've been having with WordPress comment spam, but the other problem that I've been having is forum registration and forum spam. People signing up to my discussion forums and then just posting spam. And for one of my discussion forums, what I did was just make it manual approval, which has solved the problem because it means I need to manually approve each person to make sure they're not a spammer. But what it means is activity of new sign-ups from new members has greatly reduced. So I've kind of shot myself in the foot there. I've solved the spam problem, but I've reduced the activity on the forum, so it's not a perfect solution. So I'm going to try out CleanTalk instead of that and see how that works. Check it out, guys. Check it out. You can see the service and what it does at cleantalk.org. And if you're a WordPress user, just search for CleanTalk on wordpress.org and you'll find it. The full title is Anti-Spam by CleanTalk. Be sure to check out my review on my blog on kevinmuldoon.com. You'll see a long, detailed review. I think it's about 3,000 words or so I've got, or 2,500, 3,000 words. And I kind of get into it, I speak about everything that I covered in this video, but check that out as well. And if you get any questions about any of this, please do leave a comment below. I'd love to hear about it. And I'd love to hear about those of you who have used the service, because, I think it's important for us all to kind of share this information and share what works and what doesn't, because I'm sure there's people that CleanTalk works for, and there's perhaps people out there, that CleanTalk hasn't got rid of their spam problems 100%. But I've been really happy with it so far, and the real test for me will be whether this works across all my websites, all my forums. But so far, I'm really happy with this, and I'm going to give it a try across a lot of different websites. Sorry, I'm just checking all these customer reviews on Twitter about it. So just quickly before I go away here, you can see all the different plugins you've got. This is something I probably should have spoke about earlier. All the different platforms, and then you've got all the different programming languages, the APIs, libraries. And that is the one thing I forgot to talk about so far, is there is mobile applications. There is a mobile app for iPhone and for Android, so on iOS and on Android. And you can see that it helps you check your stats on a daily basis. So that's something you might want to check out as well. It's quite good. And there's the latest IP addresses. So I hope you've all enjoyed this review. If you've got a problem with spam, please do check out cleantalk.org and see if it helps you. I recommend giving it a try, at least for a couple of days or a week, and see how it helps you. And if you get any questions, please leave them below and I'll do my best to answer them. Till then, see you in the forums, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care.